You've tuned into Bellingham Podcast Media for the week of March 7th, 2016, Episode 2. On this episode, Chris Powell talks about how an iPad can crack under the pressure of picking a good cup of coffee. I talk about a little bit of how we're trying to make ourselves Captain Jean-Luc Picard of our homes. Alexa, fetch me a cup of tea. That and more on this edition of BPM Tech. Currently, we are sitting where, Mr. Powell?
We're currently in Barkley Woods Coffee, located on, I believe, Cinema Place in Bellingham, Washington, overlooking the RPX Regal Cinema Stadium 16 IMAX, God help us, also known as the Barkley Monstrosity, known here in Bellingham, the movie theater, if you will. We are in Woods Coffee, overlooking the parking lot and Regal Cinemas, a great location to host a podcast.
Tell me how you really feel after that.
Well, let me tell you how I really feel about it. It's wonderful that you were able to reserve the room in Woods Coffee because, we don't have to fight for a table. It is rather packed. The white noise is rather ambient.
It'll be interesting to see how this edits.
Absolutely. And so it's kind of a chill place when you're in here with elbow room. But otherwise, I dig what the Woods Coffee franchise is for Whatcom County. Just from the interior furniture and how they have the decor set up, plus the coffee's very good, and the environment. I think Wes Herman, the owner of Woods Coffee, he's done a fine job of curating an experience that you may not be able to get at Starbucks.
And it's also comfy.
Comfy too.
So the reason why we're sitting here is one, yes, my kitchen is under a remodel. It's going well. We're about, I think conservatively, maybe a third, maybe almost a halfway through the whole project. Probably got it about another half a month, and I'll actually have a legitimate kitchen back again, which, trust me, I want back.
I'm sure your wife does as well.
Yes, she does, as she's sitting, she's actually our studio audience, as it were. She's eating her JoJo's, and I'm drinking my giant redwood of coffee, because earlier today, I was working on said kitchen, and bringing in what's going to be the underlayment of my tile. So a lot of hardy board, about 12 of them to be exact.
Hardy boys, hardy wood.
Hardy boys, hardy wood.
Very
so
good.
Part of the reason why we're here is because, yes, I have no kitchen. And the other thing is that Chris and I want to take this show on the road, literally, and bring a local aspect to the podcast. And so every time that we do a show, we're going to try to do a new location. And if not, it'll probably be in each other's kitchens.
Which is a fine place in itself, but we're always there. And the best part about Bellingham is we could probably come up with unlimited amount of places that we can go to, knowing all of the places to go to around Bellingham and outside of Bellingham should we need to.
Exactly. So, I mean, we're not just talking tech. The other thing about the Bellingham culture is that we like to get away from said homes. Whether we're on the trails or in our coffee houses or whatever, we like to get out. So what better way than to have two of the most brilliant techs in all of Whatcom County to try to devise a way to do a podcast on the road. So that is what we're here for.
Are they our guests coming up now?
No, that's us.
Oh, that's us. Okay, great. Yes, two of the most brilliant techs in Bellingham and Whatcom County. Sounds great. One of the things that appeals to me about this mobile location, to have the confines of a studio is limiting because you don't have windows, you don't have stimuli, there are people around, there's some type of Woods Coffee curated playlist in the background, but the main thing is we are mobile, and I think that's really indicative of the future 21st century professional life. A lot of it is going mobile. And we have the technology. We'll probably talk about our setup in a future episode. But it's really helpful to be able to grab our gear and go. Where do we feel like going, AJ? Let's go to the waterfront. Okay, done. And that's a really easy way so that we don't have to go to the daily grind. Oh, got to go in the studio. Oh, got to do this. And, and now we can pick where we want to, which also helps out.
Exactly. But anyway, so moving along, the remodel's going well. Because this is predominantly a tech show. Two things that I've been working on while doing this remodel is much in the same vein of being mobile and kind of breaking away from the traditional sense of podcasting. Traditional sense of design dictates that I must use CAD and do thy layouts in... Forsooth. Thank you, forsooth. No. So during this remodel, we have not used a quote-unquote, I'm using air quotes here, professional software to do design work. Two apps that my wife and I have been using is Chief Architect's Room Planner. Great app. It's free. It's on the iPad. And it lets you be able to draw rooms just by taking your old measuring tape, measure your interior of your rooms, and then it just helps you plot it out. What's really cool about it is once you have the walls in there, you can kind of go into gamer mode, right? And it actually renders it in 3D. So you can actually walk around your current house plan and then do your edits over the top and kind of physically see what your room's going to look like as you put in countertops and cabinets and rugs and whatnot. So it's a really nice app that you can kind of do AR, augmented reality, without being a goober and putting something on your face and like moving around your head. So you actually have your iPad in front of you in the same room, and it actually can use the magnometer and the compass and stuff. As you tilt up and down, it shows what the room's going to look like. It's
Sounds
really
like
cool.
you're able to eliminate the need for one of the professional planners and their software or tech or their experience when you're able to get this for how much on the App Store?
It's free.
It's free.
It's got in-app purchases. Like if you want more fancy trims and if you want different packages, like you have the baby package, so you have a crib and all this other jazz. But you don't need it. It has all the basics. You can sketch out your floor plan. You can put down carpet or hardwood. You can put in cabinets and pick a color. What more do you need, really?
So for those that are getting tax returns probably coming up in the near future for April, and they may be interested in upgrading some of their house, what was the name of that app again?
So it's called Chief Architect's Room Planner, and it's for iPad and iPhone, which is great. Speaking of free, how come you're rocking your iPhone 6 Plus? Where's the iPad Pro? Did you set it free?
No. All right, so here's a little context for the latest situation. So I'm the kind of guy, I'm the kind of technologist that I subscribe to the mindset, I'll go first. So oftentimes I'll have this mindset like, what if I went all Android? Can I get my work done? Can I get my personal technology needs done with just an Android phone and perhaps a Chromebook? We could talk about Chromebooks in a future episode. They got some teeth to them. Not literally, but they got some teeth. However, I've been reading a couple of tech bloggers that are making the decision to go all iOS, in which an iPad Pro, which came out in the fall season last year, maybe November or so.
October, I think.
October, November in 2015.
Yeah.
They're making that their own their only desktop computer. And they're selling their laptop and they're going with their iPhone and an iPad Pro. All right, so I'll go first, at least from my circle of sphere of influence. Yes. So I have an iPhone 6S Plus. I nicknamed it Gambit. And I made the decision to sell a MacBook Air that I had, which is my personal laptop, and to sell an asset. You got to sell an asset to buy an asset. That's how it works in my family. So sold the MacBook Air, purchased an iPad Pro, and boy howdy, that thing is a beast. I've named it Colossus. If you can catch the X-Men references, you can see how I'm naming my devices. Anyway, about 3 days into owning my iPad Pro, I'm working, kind of customizing it, take it to its limits. And I have a smart case cover on it that was in the kind of triangular stand. It's in the evening. I'm working just on a diddly squat with tech-related stuff, and I have a coffee cup that I happened to set down near it, and it happened to make contact with the glass on the iPad Pro.
Okay.
And I didn't notice anything, and then all of a sudden I saw that as I had a Safari window open, I saw that there were a couple lines on it, and I'm like, what the heck? So I looked at it, and I kind of ran my finger along it, and it felt like it, and I'm like, oh, no.
That's a whole new definition of force touch, I'm assuming.
So, yeah, mercifully, the 3D Touch is not working on iPad Pro, or I'm not using 3D Touch. However, I have two sine wave parabola crescent cracks on the lower part of my iPad Pro screen down by the button, the Touch ID button. And that kind of hurts my heart because I don't have a lot of gear. I take really good care of my gear. I don't throw stuff around, and that just kind of broke my heart. So
and your screen.
Okay, so I look. So I'm like, I like to get this fixed. I like to return things to normal. have a full working screen. So I check my serial number online with Apple serial number lookup. Cool, I'm covered with Apple Care until November 2016.
Great.
No problem. So the problem is I go into a local Apple repair facility and bring it in and say, I got a situation, I'd like to get the screen replaced. They looked up my serial number in the system and they say, do you have Apple Care Plus?
What?
That's what I said, no, I don't have Apple Care Plus. Okay, this will involve an entire screen replacement, and I think there was a couple other mentions that they had talked about.
Wait, I thought with Apple Care, if you have a cracked screen, you pay a deductible and then they swap it out.
With iPad Pro, it's now Apple Care Plus, and the problem is, or the situation is, when you buy a device from Apple or from a big box store or from wherever, you get about a 60-day window to purchase Apple Care Plus for about $60 on top of the purchase price. You get, oh, by the way, with any Apple device you purchase new, you get 1 year free Apple Care. However, Apple Care Plus, which seems to be, the frosting on the support cake, you get a 60-day window period. Now, I had purchased this iPad Pro from another seller.
Sure.
Past the 60-day of being new, I didn't have the window, and so therefore, Apple Care does not cover a glass screen replacement. The price to replace this screen, I was quoted at $599.
Whoa. How much did you pay for the iPad Pro? Because you didn't get the top end.
I did not get the top end. What I did get was a 32 gigabyte iPad Pro, and it normally will start about $800, but I got it at a discount.
Sure.
And unfortunately, I don't want to be. It's almost close to the price of what you would pay for a used iPad Pro, especially in the near future. So here's where I'm having this conversation with myself. It's a thing. It's not like my daughter got a broken leg as a result, or sliced a finger off from the broken screen, or anything like that. It's not like this was malicious use or something like that. It's a device. It's a thing. Yeah, it's a pricey thing, but what I've learned is I can live with it. I've used it, and I put a little bit of a glass screen protector over the top of the iPad Pro, and I will be gently touching it as to not expand the glass cracked screen. I got to live with it because I don't think I'm going to be able to sell it for recoup any prices, and I'm actually going to wait a while until iPad Pro infiltrates the market and prices come down for repairs.
So in your opinion, I mean, because you and I both have owned different iPads, different iOS devices. Matter of fact, last episode I had mentioned the only time that I've had a device crack, not on me, but on my wife, was an Android phone. Typically speaking, Apple puts in really good, glass. Do you feel that the size of the iPad Pro was a contributing factor of it being able to just crack under the pressure of a simple ding from a coffee cup?
I'm thinking that the technology that is put into these devices and how slim and how svelte these new devices are, all-in-one unibody construction, the days of being able to fix or hot rod a computing device yourself are gone. And I think with a brand new device, which came out about 5 or 6 months ago, you're going to be paying a premium for everything. And folks, those of you listening to this, heed my words. No, this is free advice from a tech that no charge. If you're going to buy a computing device, consider getting warranty coverage, hardware coverage from the manufacturer. Now, if you purchase it from a big box store that, for various ones out there, they may ask if you want to have device protection added on through them. Be very careful about signing up with them because that may not cover incidental damage. As we are approaching the age of disposable technology, the iPad Pro is a big 12-inch glass screen. That's a lot to replace. It's all one piece. It's not like you have a 5-inch phone and a 5-inch little piece of glass that you're slapping in. Not really slapping in. It takes a very talented tech to be able to fix it. But you're talking about a big pane of glass and some other connectors, the what's-a-who's-its, that an expert has to fix. There are plenty of repair facilities in town outside of Apple that would be happy to do this. However, it's kind of in the premium zone. If you want the newest, the latest, and greatest kids, for those of you playing at home, you're going to be paying a premium should something happen to it. And so this is a lesson learned. However, once again, it's a thing. It's not like a person got hurt or there was any kind of emotional damage.
Sure,
I'm working with it. And you know what? You got to make lemonade. If you're going to be doing something like this with technology, you got to be able to roll with potential consequences of use and abuse, even though you may be taking really good care of your equipment. So that's been my odyssey for the past few days.
Got it.
Hashtag first world problems, you know. But as a technologist who doesn't have a lot of stuff, it was a bit of a kidney punch.
Ouch. I feel for you. I feel for you.
Well, thanks, man.
So, not to make this a tech headline show, but did you see earlier last week Amazon's announcements of making new widgets, specifically ones that talk to you, or, well, we talk to them and they talk to you back.
Oh, like the Amazon Echo?
Yes. So we had the Amazon Echo, a year ago. And it was interesting because here's Amazon, who basically sells everything from what's a who's it's to a failed phone that was the Fire phone or Firefly phone or whatever. Yep. And then out comes this weird random device where Amazon Echo, where you could talk to it, it would order things for you on your Amazon store, which kind of creeps me out, but that's okay. But now, 1 year later, they announced two new products. They have the Echo Dot, and then the Echo, it's a Wi-Fi Bluetooth speaker. Can't think of what they called it. It's like Alexa to go or something like that. I can't remember.
Sounds good.
And it's interesting that came out, and the tech press is kind of, I don't know, I kind of feel like they swept it underneath the rug. And I don't want that to happen, because here's why. Last episode, we were talking about home automation. And we have things like the Nest, and we have Honeywell that has their own ecosystem, and we have
LifeX,
and
Why Things, We Things, and stuff.
Yeah, and one of the things that is the biggest problem with these devices is that because they are Wi-Fi driven, they're app driven, there is no easy way to interact with them, short of having to reach for your phone or use Siri or use OK Google or whatever. Now here's the thing. This device, the Amazon Alexa Echo, whether it's the Dot or the proper Echo, it's always on, it's always listening to you, which creeps my wife out to no end.
Understandably.
But here's the thing. They showed in this, and I'll play a clip of their ad for it, but basically it is, you're Jean-Luc Picard. Like, this is the future. Like, literally. Computer. Earl Grey. Hot. Or better yet, Alexa, what's on my calendar? And you don't have to reach for anything. It's right there by your bedside, much like I mentioned before. Like, it's meant for not every room, but the rooms that matter. So maybe the living room or maybe your bedroom. It's hot in here. Alexa, can you turn down the Nest? And it turns it down. And it's an interesting take because none of these connected devices have gone there yet. And here's Amazon, who's trying to be a hub without being a hub.
Alexa, alarm off. Alexa, what's on the calendar today?
You have 12 events scheduled.
Alexa, call me an Uber.
Your Uber will arrive in 2 minutes.
Alexa, what's the weather like today?
There's a 100% chance of showers.
Alexa, pair my Bluetooth speaker.
Okay, paired.
Alexa, it's time to reorder some paper towels.
Okay, order placed.
And Alexa, play my garage music.
Playing your garage playlist from Prime Music.
Not just that, but they're also sticking their toe into the personal assistant pool. Hey, Alexa, tell me about what I have coming up this, kind of set a reminder for this. I was listening to a podcast this morning. It's called Connected. It's off of Relay FM. There's a number of tech fellas that will be in this one. They were talking about the Amazon Echo and how the information, especially as you're talking about different time zones and the reaction time or the latency time, is evidently, according to what they were saying, Amazon's Alexa in the Echo is far faster than Hey Siri, which is very interesting because Hey Siri is, it has been an emerging intelligence technology that is supposed to help you with your life and your online life. But it seems that, at least at this point in March 2016, Amazon's kind of beating Apple right now with the technology and the immediacy of the information, which kind of concerns me because, yes, that's always listening. and it's always hearing data. And it's always, and for that kind of quick response time, what is it recording, and what is it keeping track of? But we're on the early stages of this.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a personal assistant, and it's great for the kids too. Hey, Amazon, what's the square root of 27, or what's the cube root of 27?
I'm sorry, Chris, I can't do your math homework for
right.
you.
And as things evolve, this may turn into a family assistant, not just a personal one.
Yeah, so it's interesting because like in sci-fi we had computer, and we had it in the Iron Man, Jarvis. And it's kind of funny because Jeff Bezos, being the CEO of Amazon stuff, he's an Iron Man kind of guy, and I kind of feel like between him and Elon Musk, they could put together their minds and make like the Jarvis of the future, right? Where they open the door. You can order stuff from Amazon because that's pretty much running the entire internet commerce, which is good and bad. But what makes it interesting is that here is, like you just said, everybody's been in this personal assistance thing, and nobody's really nailed it. And here's Amazon, who thinks that they can because they're the biggest commerce thing in the U.S. I don't know if it's going to take off, but it's really cool tech.
It's exciting, at least from a technologist standpoint, and I'm sure it's very frightening for those that are very cautious or not sure or not really immersed in the technology world, because why are you listening to me all the time? I don't want this. I can pull out a calculator and take care of, and write down my calendar appointments. Why do I need a digital assistant? Well, we're on the verge of something very big, very helpful, but it's probably not ready for prime time just yet. But it's fun to stay tuned and watch as things evolve.
Yeah. So last episode, you put me on the spot and did this whole BPM top 5. So, Mr. Powell, I am going to return the favor, okay? I want to give you 5 things, rapid fire, no thinking, and you're going to have to defend your thoughts. Are you ready?
I'm used to it all the time in my workplace. Go for it.
Okay, best park in Bellingham, go.
It's kind of funny. There's a bunch of family parks around Bellingham, but there's a newer one on Squalicum Parkway. If you go down Squalicum Parkway underneath the overpass, there are softball fields. There's a big old playground, and they made the city of Bellingham did a whole lot of work on this. It's pretty cool. I definitely think in the summertime, as the weather gets nicer, for those 2 weeks that we actually have sunshine in Bellingham.
Hey, whoa, with global warming, it's like 2.5 now.
2.5. Okay,
solid.
Good enough. Great place for the family to take the kids. Plenty of playground equipment. Lots of walking trails to walk your dog. There's actually a fenced-off dog park.
Off leash?
Off leash in there as well. Yeah, Squalicum Trail or Squalicum Park on Squalicum Parkway. I'm not sure of the exact name, but you'll see it as you're driving along. It's big.
Awesome. Okay. Best breakfast in Bellingham, go.
I gotta say this would be Skylarks in Fairhaven, just because of the environment and atmosphere and ambience appeal to me. Their food is healthy, and it looks like it's not really. It takes a while to get your food. Therefore, I can equate time waiting for food with the care that's taken for it, as opposed to bang, here, there it is. But from when you pay in the window to receiving it in a paper bag.
I can respect that.
So Skylarks in Fairhaven, I'm a fan.
So to walk off said breakfast, what is the best hiking trail in Bellingham for you? Go.
Hiking trail and walking trail are two different things.
Hiking. I said specifically hiking.
Specifically hiking. In that case, up in Barkley, kind of in this zone in Barkley Hill, there is a wonderful interconnected series of trails that my wife and I will take our dog.
The Northridge Park.
The Northridge Park. Thank you very much. Great, just wonderful, chill environment. So many different routes to take. It's well kept. The people pick up their pets' poo. Yeah. I enunciate succinctly for that. And that's wonderful how everyone's working together to keep that hiking trail in good condition. Kudos to the Barkley Northridge Park hikers and walkers and pet owners for taking care of their business.
Best wait staff in Bellingham, go.
There's a lot of great restaurants in Bellingham, but I got to shoot straight with you. When you go to a particular place and you have someone that's always friendly, that has prompt, courteous service, you really want to go back. And I have found that the staff of Boomers are under assault almost the whole day, and I have yet to find one of the Boomers hops, I guess, or car hops, be grumpy, even though they have every reason to be. They are very professional, courteous. They're nice. It's a good experience when you go there. Now, there's plenty of restaurants that have awesome wait staff that take care of you as a customer, but I got to give tip of the hat to the Boomers staff for all the work that they do under such insane quantity circumstances.
You just got a whole bunch of props from our studio audience,
Yes.
as my wife used to be one of those said car hops back in the day.
You know what? You got to recognize the talent and the patience and the professionalism one must have in a viper pit like that. And I use that term where it's like a very high intensity, stressful situation. You gotta give a lot of credit for those that work hard and don't let it get to them.
Completely agree. So last but not least, what is the best burger you've had in Bellingham?
One would think I would say a Boomer burger, Big
But-
Boom, but I am going to go with a Bob's Bonanza burger.
Bob's Burger and Brew?
Bob's Burgers and Brew.
Really?
Yes.
The Bonanza Burger's got what, egg on it?
No, the Bonanza Burger is 2 patties, both a third pound apiece.
Wow.
This is the monster burger.
So it's the cardiac arrest.
Yes, and it actually has about 5 potatoes of fries, 5 potatoes
Really?
worth of fries on the platter. There are times when I really want to have a well-curated meal for portion and appearance and the care that took into it, but there's something about an OMG burger that is 2/3 of a pound of beef and enough potatoes to give you carbacoma.
Hashtag carbacoma.
That's the best burger in Bellingham. And there is no discussion because everyone's entitled to my opinion.
Fair enough. Well, that wraps it up for this edition of BPM Tech. Chris, I looked on the internet and I saw something that was really intriguing. We are in the iTunes store.
We are in the iTunes store thanks to some tech voodoo, tech nerdery by the guy I'm talking with right now. AJ did a fine amount of work in making us available. If you go to the iTunes store, type in Bellingham Podcast. You'll see a couple selections, but look for this great logo. Or you could go to bellinghampodcast.com and you can see this great logo that AJ actually designed on an iPad with an app called Paper.
Paper by 53. We'll talk about that in a different episode.
You got it. But yeah, we're on iTunes. We're on many of your podcast apps. I actually use Castro, which is a kind of like Overcast, Downcast. It's a podcast app. There we are. Bellingham
great.
Podcast. So subscribe to us. We'd love to have you listen in.
Yes, cool. And when you do subscribe, please do rate us, and hopefully you give us 5 stars.
And if you want to give us 3 stars,
Any stars
at all, give us some ways that we can improve, because we enjoy this, but we also want to make a product that you're going to want to come back and listen to over and over again. So love to hear from you. Give us some topics that you'd like to have us talk about. Give us some technology questions that you like. We'd love to have quote unquote viewer mail in a rating or other types of formats. So
which leads me to the way that you can contact us on the website.
How can they contact us?
On the website, under the About, there is a contact form. It goes somewhere. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll get to it. But the easiest way is that Chris and I are both on Twitter, and if you use the hashtag #BHamPodcast, we'll be able to see it. So, or you can @reply us. I'm at AJ Barcet, and
I'm at Minimal Tech. So minimal, I don't have many vowels in it. MNMLTEK, Minimal Tech.
Yeah, so tweet at us, and we'll maybe your tweet will be read on the show.
Thanks very much for listening in. It's great to have you joining us, and we look forward to catching up with you next time.
Yeah, thank you. Coming from the city of subdued excitement, I'm AJ Barcet.
And I'm Chris Powell. This is the Bellingham Podcast Media.